The last little bit of footwork that we're going to work on working on our rooting and controlling our balance, is something that occurs a lot in the 24 form, especially in Taiji, but other Taichi forms as well. And it takes the ideas that we've worked on, going forward, going back, going to the sides, and it kind of combines them and it adds a little bit of a circular element to it. So we're really having to work on combining all those elements and focusing on maintaining the balance through all that motion. So really be solid on the steps before this one, the forward, back, and side, before you start this one. And as soon as you start this one, you'll see why the other ones were so important. So this one's pretty straightforward after you get used to it, but it can seem like a lot at first. So we're going to go at it from some different angles so you can get an idea of what it looks like from different sides. Then we're going to like really break it down so you can see what each thing is. When I start this, I'm going to be starting facing, right now I'm facing towards you. So when I step, I'm going to be stepping to my side. I'm going to go to my left. You step to whichever side is comfortable for you. Here, bend the knees, establish the root, shift the root into the leg that you're going to keep on the ground. For me, it's the right leg. So I'm shifting my focus, my attention, my root into my right leg, and I'm going to step out to my left side with my left leg. But I'm not going to step straight. I'm going to go in a circle. So the foot goes toward, here it's going towards you, so it goes to the front of my body, and then it circles around to my left side and gently touches with the heel. If you find that you've fallen onto it, come back, start again, keep it a little bit closer. Put it wherever you need to so that you can control the balance and touch when you're ready. You touch with the heel first. It's very common for people when they're first learning this, when they step out, they like to touch with the toe, which makes sense because we've done that with some of the other steps. But when you do that, when you go to shift forward with this, you're going to have your heel coming back this way as you're going this way, and so it's kind of this counter move instead of everything moving together. So when you step out, you do your circle step, gently touch with the heel, and then when you shift forward, everything can go in the same direction. Now here when you shift forward, it's important that this back foot turns. Doesn't have to turn straight, that would make it a little bit off balance, but it turns enough that your hips can comfortably turn forward. If you leave it straight here, so I do my circle step and I shift forward, if it's straight, when I try to turn my hips, there's a lot of tension here that's fighting against my hips turning into this motion. And later on you'll see why that's important, but right now, just suffice it to say your hips want to turn into this and want to do so comfortably. So when you do this circle step, as you shift forward, what you're going to do is just take pressure off your heel. You don't want to lift the heel and turn it and set it down. You just want to take pressure off of it so the majority of your foot contact is with the ball of the foot. So you can pivot, but you aren't bringing your root way up and throwing off your balance. So once again, circle step, gently touch. As I shift, the heel turns, and as soon as it gets in position, the whole foot's touching the ground again. I don't ever leave that foot where only part of it's touching. As soon as it's there, it reconnects to the floor. My hips can turn forward comfortably. From here, you rock back, and you're going to turn your foot away from your center line. So it's not ever going to cross back this way, back across your center line. It's always going to turn away from the center line. Shift, establish the root in the left leg, and then just bring this right leg in next to the left. Now notice I'm facing the exact opposite direction of where I started. I was facing you, now I'm facing away from you. So make sure that when you do these motions, you're going from facing this way to facing this way, and then we're going to go back to facing that way when we step again. So the root is in the left leg, circle step with the right, gently touch with the heel, shift forward, rotating that foot, rotating the hips, so everything's facing forward here, rock back, turn, shift, establish that root, bring the feet together. Okay. Again, the root's in the right leg now, so I circle step with the left, gently touch, shift forward, rotating that foot, rotating the hips here. Something to be very careful of here is to make sure that this knee does not push out past the toe. That's kind of a dangerous spot for that knee to be in, so you want to stop it at least in line with the toe. You can stop it directly above the ankle if you want, but somewhere in here is okay. Don't let it go out past that. After you're there and you rock back, The next important thing to be aware of is when that foot turns, you don't have to turn it all the way over. Turn it as far as is comfortable for you, as far as your body says, that's okay, stop there. And then when you bring your feet together, you can adjust so that you're facing the correct direction again. And then circle step, gently touch with the heel, shift, turn the foot, turn the hips, make sure the knee isn't past the toe, rock back, turn the foot away from your center line, shift, establish the root in that forward leg, bring your feet together, and if you need to, you can adjust so that you're facing the correct direction. Okay. So I'll go through that a couple times, just going through the motions so you can see it all together, and then we'll do it from another angle. So here, root, bend the knees, root goes into the right leg, circle step with the left leg, gently touch, shift forward, hips turn in, foot turns in, everything's facing forward, rock back, foot turns away from the center line, and I bring my feet together. Keeping the root in the left leg now, circle step, gently touch with the heel, shift forward, turn, rock back, turn the foot out, shift, establish that root, bring the feet together, and if you need to, you can adjust. If you don't need to adjust, that's fine. It's probably better for the smoothness of the move, but do what's best for your body. Rock back. Always remember, establish the root before you pick up that foot. So here, rock back, turn. Here, I start to establish that root, and it's a solid root before this foot comes off the ground. Now I'll do it from the side. So, starting facing this way, bend the knees, I shift my attention and my intent, my root into the right leg, circle step with the left, shift forward, rock back, turn away from my center line, bring my feet together. Now I'm facing the opposite direction from what I started in. Circle step, gently touch with the heel, shift forward, hips turn into this so my entire body is facing forward, rock back, turn away from the center line, bring the feet together, and circle step. Now there's something really important that I'm going to show to you from this angle that's going to help with balance in a huge way. It's very common when people step on this one to step, and when you put this foot down, to leave it in line with this other foot. The problem with that is when I turn, then it's like I'm walking a tightrope because both my legs are on the same line here, and it can be very wobbly there, unless you just have awesome balance and you can walk on tightropes without a problem. So the important thing there is when I turn this foot out, I want to step a little bit further this way so that when I turn, this leg is on this side of my center line, this leg is on this side of my center line. So that gives me stability this way. It's the same reason that when we're walking, we always walk, this leg's on this side of the center line, this one's on this side. You probably won't ever see someone walking down the street like this as just part of their normal day, because it's just not as stable. So for the same reason, when we step out here, we don't want to be on a tightrope. We want to open that up enough that when we turn, we have stability. Now you don't want it way out here because you don't want to leave yourself exposed, which becomes more important in the martial side of Tai Chi. But you want to be far enough past that you have good stability. Rock back, turn, feet together, circle step. Make sure you go past enough that when you turn, this foot's on this side of the center line, this one's on this side. So be careful of that, and practice as much as you can with this step.